What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm a little bit slower than I had hoped to be on this because Raven released that patch at 8 a.m. my time, which I was not expecting. Normally they come out at like 10 p.m. my time. So I was a little bit slower, but still pretty quick. I've got all the new numbers for all the guns. I'm going to start with a video this morning on the Krig, since the Krig was used by like 17% of the Warzone population on every single loadout box, which was crazy. Just the pick rate was insanely high because it was so good. I'm going to focus on that first in this video, and then I'll put another video out later today that's covering the other patch changes and what I think the new meta is going to be. I'll probably talk about that some in this video as well. But basically, they have destroyed the Krig, so the Krig is not even worth considering anymore, in my opinion. So we'll get into that in a second. But as always, if you like the content, drop a sub, a like, and a comment to help support me and the channel and the website. But let's get into it, and we'll talk about the Krig changes. All right, let's start with the most important thing that made the Krig so good, and that is, of course, recoil. So before the patch, the XM4 had like such a small amount of recoil that it literally felt like there was no recoil sometimes. So that's what's on the right here is the old measurement. So on the very far left, this left recoil plot's the XM4. On the very far right's the Krig. This was meta build, so longest barrel, agency suppressor, field agent grip, and axial 3x. I repeated that test today. And this is what I got here. So they weren't scaled exactly the same. I don't know how far I was on the right. I think I was probably 10 meters, maybe 15 meters. So I did 15 meters today, and took a screenshot, but it doesn't matter because I can scale them appropriately. So the old Krig recoil, if you measure the XM4 and then measure the Krig in terms of vertical magnitude or overall magnitude from bottom to top, the Krig was 37% of the XM4 recoil. And now after this patch, the if you measure that over here and do the same ratio, you get 151% of the XM4 recoil. It has more recoil than the XM4 now, which makes exactly no sense to me. I think this was massively overkill. You can see this is a 410% increase in the XM4 recoil, or in the Krig recoil. It's just absolutely wild. So now it's gonna have worse TTKs than the XM4 and similar recoil. It is 151% of the XM4, but it shoots slower, so the actual amount of recoil you have to correct for really isn't going to be 151% of the XM4. It's going to be probably closer to about the same in terms of how much recoil it actually feels like it has. But still, if it's going to have worse TTKs and a third damage drop off, it shouldn't have the same recoil as the XM4. That just doesn't make sense. This kind of confirms for me that they're purposely building metas. In the past, maybe they were, maybe they weren't. Wasn't sure. Maybe they were trying to balance it, but just not doing a great job. This confirms for me that they're 100% trying to control the meta to some degree, and I think that makes sense because everyone's like, "Oh, we want fully balanced guns. We want the gun game to be completely balanced," and I'm like, do you though? Because it's if everything's perfectly balanced, then nothing stands out, nothing's unique, and it's just kind of boring. I think if everything's perfectly balanced, I think they do it on purpose. I think they shift the metas on purpose, and that does have pluses and minuses. Obviously, the negative is that you can't always use the guns you like, and you feel like you have to use a certain gun. I think they're trying to get closer to a good balance, but I still think they want certain guns to be better than others, and I think that kind of makes sense in some ways. But yeah, this is hilarious. 410% recoil, 410% increase in recoil. Just absolutely crazy to just destroy the gun like this. All right, so as far as actual stat changes for TTKs and things, the only thing that changed in terms of damage profile that I found was a neck shot multiplier decrease. So it used to be 37 damage to the neck in the first damage drop off, 31 to the chest. Now they've removed that neck shot multiplier and made it the same as the chest shot. And that's the same all the way out. So in the second drop off, or the first drop off and the second drop off, it's the same as chest shot. Whereas before it used to have some extra damage. So that's one of those kind of intangible things that really wouldn't be something that would always directly affect your TTK, but in some cases could if you hit some of those shots. So on top of this insane recoil nerf, they've also increased the TTKs. If we look at the TTK chart for next shot, you can see specifically with next shot, it's dramatically slower now. Again, that's actually not that big of a deal. It will affect it some because those are some shots you'll hit sometimes. But overall, not a huge nerf there. I would have liked to seen maybe like a 1.5 or 2x increase in recoil, and then also this next shot nerf, and I think the Krig would have been an okay spot. I think with what they've done, they've absolutely destroyed it. I'm gonna get my head wrapped around the rest of the data from the patch, get it all up on the website, and then I'll come out with a second video later today covering all of that data for all the rest of the guns, as well as my thoughts on the updated long range meta, because I think that is, I think I have a pretty good handle on that already, but I just want to make sure. I want to try out the guns and see what they feel like, and get all the data up and look at the data as well. So we'll have that out later today for you guys, but I just want to get a quick video out on the Krig changes since this was such a popular gun. I think a lot of people will be interested in this specifically. Basically, it's destroyed. Start looking for something else. It's not going to be the gun to use anymore, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you like the content. Drop us a like, comment, and sub, and I will see you later today for the second video.